Yo, what's up guys and welcome to Lyxcode. In today's episode, you're going to be creating this clear command which will not only allow you to delete selected messages by selecting the member of the messages, but also log the messages deleted in the form of an HTML file as you see here. So I'm going to show you an example out of it. So let's say we have messages from two members in here and we only want to delete the last 5 or 6 messages from one single user without affecting any other user or member in the channel. So we're gonna type slash clear. Here we're gonna enter the amount. Let's say we want to clear from 10 to 5, for example, so 6. And the reason is gonna be, for example, testing, and it's gonna be required because you need to keep an eye on your moderators, especially when dealing with the bulk deletes and stuff like that. And if you press tab, you will see the optional option, which is the target. And here you can select the member that you want to delete their messages. So I'm going to select Lyxcode and hit enter. Once that is done, you can see it deleted from 10 to 5 as we wanted it to. It's going to say cleared 6 messages from Lyxcode. We're going to dismiss this message because only you can see this message. Now, if you go ahead to the log channel, we should be able to see here the info, clear command used. The moderator that used it is Lyxcode test, which is this account. The target was Lyxcode test. The channel was this channel, and if you press on it, you will go to that channel. The reason is testing, and the amount of messages cleared is 6. Now you will see here above this embed, you will have an HTML file. And once you place on this download button, you can download it. And once you click on the transcript, a browser menu will open up and you will see the messages that were deleted and in what channel. So that's pretty good. Now, if you exit out of this, and let's say you just want to delete every message or you just want to clear, for example, 15 messages, you type slash clear, type 15, or you can also type 99. It doesn't matter. We know here that there is only this amount of messages, so it's gonna tell us how many messages it actually deleted, not the amount that was provided to it. The reason is gonna be also testing. We're not gonna provide an optional member, so we're gonna press enter, and that will delete the messages in the channel, and it will tell you how many messages it cleared. Now, if you go to to the log channel, it's gonna give us the same concept. We download the HTML file, we click on it, and it will open up with all the messages that were deleted. And yeah, so let's go ahead and start coding this. All right, so let's go ahead to our moderation folder and create a new file, and we're gonna call it clear.js or whatever you want to call it. So just to plug myself in here, if you guys would like to support the channel even more and get access to every single source code of the episodes that we have created, subscribe to my Ko-fi page where you will get access to source pins and GitHub repository access to everything that we create in this channel. So thank you guys for watching, and let's go continue with coding. Now we're gonna grab a couple of stuff from the Discord package, which is gonna be, let's open first up a const and require discord.js. We need a slash command builder. We need embed builder, and that's about it from. And actually, we need permission flag bits and chat input interaction for the parameters. Once that is done, let me make this a little bit bigger for you. Let's see, view appearance. And zoom in. All right, so this should be better. Once that is done, we're gonna download a package or install a package that is called a Discord HTML transcripts. So let's go to the terminal, type npm I, and it's gonna be Discord HTML transcripts. All right, press enter, and that should download the package for you, and this is the package that we're using to log whatever messages that were deleted. All right, so once that is done, we're gonna require it in here. So const transcript equals to require, and here we're gonna put the actual package name. All right, so let's exit out of the terminal. Now we're gonna type model export. Same concept as always to create commands. Data equals to new instance of slash command builder. We're gonna set the name of the command to be clear, and you cannot have capital names, so watch out, clear. We're gonna set the description, we added a comma there. We're gonna set the description. Sorry, there we go. And here we're gonna say bulk delete messages. For example, you can put whatever you want. Then we're gonna set the default member permission to permission flag bits dot manage messages. I always recommend in your commands to give the appropriate permission to each command. For example, this command will clear messages, so logically the member that will be able to execute it needs to have this permission by default in this code. All right, then we're gonna set DM permission to false, so this command cannot be used inside of DMs, otherwise it will crash it. And yeah, once that is done, we'll move on to adding our options. So the first option is gonna be a number option. So add number option, options, just like this. And let's go ahead and enter. We're gonna set the name of this option to be amount, which is gonna be the amount of messages that we want to delete. So provide the amount of messages you intend to delete. All right, once that is done, we're gonna set this, or actually we're gonna set the minimum value to 1, and we're gonna set the max value to 100. All right, so whenever you're deleting messages, you're deleting them 100 at a time, or 1 at a time, or between. But you cannot exceed the 100, and you cannot go below 1. All right, we're gonna set this. We're gonna set this option to be required. And then we'll move on to our next option, which is the string option for the reason. So add string option. Sorry, options. And what we need, sorry. So the same concept is going to be set name, reason, set description. Here we're going to say provide the reason to why you are clearing these messages. You can, like I said, customize this as much as you want. I'm just giving you a boilerplate after all. All right, so once that is done, we're gonna also set this to required. You can, if you don't want it, you don't have to, but for me, it's I want it to be required, for example. And the last option, which is gonna be the user option. So we're gonna type add user option. Options, same concept. It gets pretty repetitive by the time. We're gonna set the name of it to be target. We're gonna set the description for it to be provide the target member to only delete their messages, for example. All right. Once that is done, we're gonna leave this as not required, because sometimes you only just want to delete a bunch of messages and you don't want to have a target. All right. So once that is done, we're gonna add a comma. We're gonna execute, and actually we're gonna async because we're gonna use the await function. So execute and interaction. We don't need a client. And we're gonna give the parameters for the interaction. So it's gonna be chat input interaction. All right. So now we're gonna go and define the stuff that needs to be defined. For example, the amount, the reason, and the target for now. So we're gonna type const amount equals to interaction.options.get number, because this is a number option. And in here, we're going to provide the name of it, which is the amount. We're going to also grab the reason. So const reason equals interaction options.get string, because it's a string option. Reason. And last but not least, the target. Const target equals to interaction options.get user, or you can get the member, whatever you want, target. And excuse my voice, I'm getting pretty sick here, so if I'm sounding weird, just so you guys know. All right, so now we're gonna type const channel messages equals to await interaction dot channel dot messages dot fetch. So what this will do, is gonna fetch the messages in the channel that this command was used in, and it's gonna await it. So the code will not run until this is done. And that's good, because we need the messages to be fetched before we delete them. All right. Now, this is an optional choice if you want to log this command. If you want to create it multi-guild, you can easily do it. But for now, we're gonna make it a single guild only, and I'm gonna show you or tell you how to make it global in basically one line of code. So we're gonna type const log channel equals to interaction.guild channels.cache.get, and here we can provide the ID. So I'm gonna go to that same guild that I showed you in the beginning of this video, copy the log channel ID, and paste it just right here. All right, so once that is done, now we're gonna start creating our embeds. Why we're creating them here, to make our code a little bit more organized. So we're gonna type const response embed, which is the embed that's gonna be responded to the interaction. A new embed builder instance, just like this. We're gonna set, we're gonna set the color to whatever you want. You can take dark navy, whatever you want. You can customize as much as you would like. And we're gonna create the log embed for the log channel. So const log embed equals to new embed builder. All right, and what we're gonna do, I think we required embed. Yeah, let's remove it. And in here, we're gonna also add the color. Let's say dark aqua, whatever you want. And under it, we're gonna set the author to be, for example, name command or clear command used, whatever you wanted to say. And now that we're done with this, right, we're gonna go down and we're gonna create an array of the description that we want to have. And I'm gonna tell you why we're creating the array in here once we continue on with code. So let's create an array. So let log embed description equals to an array. Inside of the array, here we're gonna have the moderator, and actually I'm gonna go ahead and copy this the symbol. I'm gonna leave it in the description, by the way, so you guys can have it too. So moderator is gonna say interaction dot member, which is the member that used the command, which is the moderator. Target, now as you know, the target is not required, so it might not return a target. So we're gonna type target equals to target, and if there isn't, so if not, it's gonna be none. All right, so now the channel, so channel, and it's gonna be interaction dot channel. All right, and last but not least is the reason, so it's gonna be equal to the reason. All right, so now we're done with the log embed. And like I said, I'm gonna tell you why we are putting it here, not directly inside of this embed and not later on. All right, so now to the actual command itself. Now we're gonna shake. So if there is a target, we're gonna clear only that target's messages. But if there isn't, we're gonna clear the channel itself. So we're gonna shake if target. So if the target option returns something, then whatever inside of this curly brackets is gonna get executed. But if there isn't a target, so else, it's gonna run the other code, which will delete the messages from the channel and not from the target. All right, so here we're gonna create a simple loop, and we're gonna loop through the fetched messages and find the messages that we want to delete. So we're gonna assign I to an index of 0, and then we're gonna type let messages to delete equal an empty array, because we're gonna push the messages to this array. Once that is done, we're gonna, like you see here, when we fetch the channel messages, we're gonna copy this. So channel messages dot filter. So we're gonna go through this array, because this is gonna return a collection, basically an array or a map. So we're gonna filter through it. We're gonna filter through every message, all right, and we're gonna create an arrow function. And in here we're gonna say, so if message.author.id is equal to the target ID, and here where the looping will come, if the amount is still bigger than the index. All right, so if that's the case, then we're gonna execute this code. We're gonna type messages to delete dot push. We're gonna push the message, and we're gonna add we're gonna add it to itself +1. That's how you do it. So it's gonna create a loop until the I in here, the index of it reaches the same amount that we have in the amount variable. All right, so once that is done, we'll basically filter the messages, and now this array is filled with the messages that we want to delete. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and create the transcript before we delete the messages, because if we delete the messages now, we're not gonna be able to create a transcript. So to do that, it's pretty simple. We're gonna type const transcript, and if you remember, let's define this as transcripts with an s at the end, and this is gonna be const transcript. So let's copy this. Const transcript is gonna be equal to transcripts dot generate from messages, and in here we're gonna provide the messages to delete, and we're also gonna provide it with the interaction dot channel. So what this will do, and we're actually gonna await it because it is gonna take some time to generate the HTML file. So no problem, we're gonna await it. And once that is done, now we can move on to actually deleting these messages from the channel. So we're gonna type interaction dot channel dot bulk delete. We're gonna use the bulk delete function, and we're gonna provide the messages to delete with it, which is this array that we loop through in here. We're gonna set it to be true, so it will automatically delete messages that are 2 weeks or older, and then it's gonna be a promise. So dot then when that is done, we're gonna provide we're gonna get the messages that were deleted, and we're gonna create an arrow function. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna interaction dot reply, and in the embed array here, we're gonna add this this response embed that we created up here. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna set the description of it to be, let's say, we're gonna grab an emoji. So press Windows plus dot to get this emoji list, and let's see where our mopping emoji is. Search for it. I don't know what is really called in English, guys, so excuse me. Let's see if we can find it in time. There we go. All right, we're gonna grab this emoji, and here we're gonna say cleared, and we're gonna add some style. So we're gonna add this just like this, and here we're gonna provide the messages dot size, and we're gonna get the actual size of the messages that were deleted, and we're gonna say messages from target. All right, once we have replied to this interaction, we can go down below, and actually let's do this real quick. Let's take this down, and let's make it ephemeral, so only you will see this response, so you don't clog this the channel. And sorry, excuse me, guys. Yeah, like I said, my voice is killing me right now. So now we're gonna type log embed description. Sorry, description, the same array that we have here, and we're gonna push another element to it, or another index to it, and we're gonna push the actual message amount. So let's copy one of these. All right, put it here, and instead of the reason, it's gonna say, for example, messages or total messages, and here we're gonna provide messages dot size, and we actually need to crop it. So crop this. All right, and we need to put it in here actually, so we can access the messages from this promise. All right, so once you have done that, we're gonna go down here, and we're gonna log channel dot send. Now, of course, if you have the log channel dot send embeds is gonna include this log embed, log embed. And in the log embed, let's see how we're gonna do it. We're gonna set the description, and inside of this description, we're gonna give it the log embed description array that we created. Then we're gonna dot join with a space. So we're gonna join the description. All right, once that is done, we're gonna again go down one more line, and we're gonna provide, actually let's do it like this, so it looks a little bit better for the eye. Let's push this forward. Same thing here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna type files, and inside of the files array, we're gonna add the transcript that we generated. All right, so pretty simple so far. Now we're done with the target option. So we're done with the target. Now we're gonna create the other for the if you don't select the target. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy this transcript line. We're gonna paste it here. It's gonna create a transcript for this too. And in here, all we need to do is type interaction.channel.bulk delete. And here we're gonna provide the amount true, and then then it's gonna be a promise. It's gonna be also messages. We're gonna create an arrow function, and we're gonna type the same stuff. So let's grab this interaction reply from over here. Yeah, but now except we don't have a target, so we're just gonna remove this, and we're gonna only have messages. So that's done. And now we're gonna copy the log embed and the log description and put it down here too. And let's see if we want to clear anything else. No, so it's pretty done. So now we are really done with this command. So this is the supporters bot. So I'm gonna add my token to the config.js and come back to you guys so we can test it out. All right, so now that I have the bot connected with my token, we need to create a couple of stuff before we continue. So make sure your execute is written correctly, guys, because I think I wrote it wrong. So make sure it's execute like this. And if you scroll down to the else statement over here, we need to change a couple of stuff from the transcript. Because if you remember, we copied it from here and we didn't remove it or change it. So we're gonna delete this, right? And instead of generate from message, we're gonna create transcript, all right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna provide the interaction.channel, and then we're gonna open up this curly brackets, which is the options for this transcript. We're gonna set the limit to equal the amount of messages that we want to delete, so we can only log the amount of messages that that is needed. So once that is done, okay, once that is done, everything should be working fine. So let's clear node space dot. Now if you go to Discord, over here, we're gonna type a couple of messages so we can test out this command. So we're gonna type clear. We're gonna set the amount to be let's say 0, and it will tell you enter a number between 1 and 10. So let's enter 3, for example, and provide the reason testing to this. And like you see, cleared 3 messages and it actually deleted them. If you go to the logs channel over here, we should see the same logging that I showed you in the beginning of this video. If we download it and go to the transcript, we should see the message that we deleted. So yeah, it's pretty done. We're gonna try and clear, actually. Let's do this, and without selecting, sorry, we need to select a target to try it. So let's type a couple of stuff, right? So let's type clear amount. We're gonna have 10, reason, whatever, and let's select the Lyxcode test target, and everything is working perfectly. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode.